And joining us now, great pleasure to welcome a man who has co-written a book that I think is going to help a lot of people, particularly if you're either looking for work or maybe looking for your next job or just want to better yourself. It's called The Startup of You. We're joined today by Ben Casnocha by telephone. Ben, thanks for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm well, Doug. Thanks for having me.
I had a chance to read through the book last week, and I think a lot of people are out there, as I said, kind of looking to whether they have a job or looking to improve their situation. You give some great tips on, I guess the key word there is networking, isn't it? But that the whole networking process is changing, isn't it?
It is. Network building is just one key theme. The overall message of the book is that we can all apply the strategies and principles of entrepreneurship, but to our own career. Just as entrepreneurs build new companies from the ground up in the conditions of change and uncertainty, so can we all apply those strategies to our career. And that involves building networks, it involves adapting, it involves taking intelligent risks. And we do these things whether we're starting a company or if we're working at someone else's company, big or small, and whether we're a doctor, lawyer, teacher, student, or a business owner.
I know about you, Ben, but my father, and probably your father as well, at least when they grew up, they probably were under the impression you get with a company and maybe stay with it 30, 40, 50 years till you retire and maybe not look for other work while you're working, but that whole idea is pretty much out the window. So you almost have to, no matter what job you have, maybe not look for the next job right away, but you have to always be out there kind of putting your name out there, don't you?
That's right. I mean, the era of a firm employer-employee loyalty pact is gone now, and so the idea that your company will kind of train you once you get on the job, keep you up to date on what you need to know, that's no longer true. So the world has changed, and a lot of those assumptions need updating, and the professionals who are getting ahead today are entrepreneurial, are indeed putting themselves out there and are hustling for opportunities and thinking of themselves as kind of a business of one, operating within a network and, leasing their talent to their current employer, but by no means are, in a kind of lifelong relationship with that employer.
You wrote the book with Reid Hoffman, who co-founded and is chairman of LinkedIn, one of the I think probably the best online networking sites, and I guess that whole online networking is a different aspect. People in the old days, you just kind of go to maybe a cocktail party, or people in the industry conventions to network, but even that has changed, right? Online networking is just as important, isn't it?
That's right, and what the online networks allow you to do is stay in touch with a much broader set of folks. While you can only know a handful of close friends, you can actually maintain a much broader set of looser relationships using online social networks. So you only be able to have a handful of close friends you go to ball games with, say, every week, but using LinkedIn, you can actually maintain looser ties with hundreds and potentially thousands of folks online you might ping once a year.
Just want to touch on a couple of the terms you use in the book. You talk about a method called ABZ planning. Can you briefly kind of explain what that is?
Sure. ABZ planning is a framework for both planning and remaining flexible to change. Both setting plans, but also changing those plans as the world changes. And the framework we use is called ABZ planning. So plan A is the plan that you're currently on. It's your current job, your current opportunity, your current implementation of your competitive advantage. Plan B is something that you should be thinking about in terms of what do you do if plan A doesn't work out? Or what do you do if you actually come across a better opportunity? Maybe plan A is working out, but there's just something better. So what are your parameters of flexibility in your current career situation? And then plan Z is the backstop. It's what do you do if you get laid off, if something catastrophic happens? What's your fallback plan? And, for young people, that tends to be move back in with their parents. For older folks, it's maybe, cashing out your 401k. But it's a very certain backstop, and it's the certainty of that plan Z that allows you to take on more risk and uncertainty in plan A.
Yeah, I guess if you say your worst case scenario is this and you can live with it, then you're a little more apt to take a chance, right, or to gamble on yourself. Yeah.
Precisely. Yep.
I like the term you used in the book, setting up an interesting people fund. I kind of like that terminology. Explain that, if you would, a little bit.
Yeah, people often talk about the importance of network building and building relationships, but it's kind of puzzling that so few people actually act on the advice they're often given. So what we find in the book is how to pre-commit yourself to investing in your network by setting aside time and money at the beginning of each year to build relationships, to take people out to coffee, to fly to that conference in a different city where you might meet someone interesting. So instead of every time that opportunity presents itself having to decide, well, should I go take Bob out to coffee? Should I spend the money on the lunch? Set aside, a few $100 or $1,000 if you can afford it, and earmark that money as an interesting people fund, and use it when you're set to meet, when you have the opportunity to meet interesting people.
Yeah, it's a good idea to do that. And I know we have limited time today, Ben, but you yourself, as an entrepreneur, I guess this is the kind of time, like you said, it's a volatile time, but when isn't it? Are you kind of optimistic that we see a lot of technology changes now? We're seeing the way business is done differently. Is this an optimistic time in your opinion? For business, I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think what's happened in the economy is that there are winners and there are losers, and the gap growing between the two. So I think for people who have the skills and have the mindset to compete, life is good. There's opportunity aplenty. But for those who don't, life's not so good. And so I think I'm optimistic that people can acquire the skills they need to succeed. I don't think you're born with it or not born with it. I don't think you have to be in a certain area or go to a certain school. So that gives me hope. But I'm also nervous for folks. I think it's a competitive economy, and government and business isn't necessarily going to take care of you. So we all have to take care of ourselves.
Almost a throwback to how America started. People came here really with maybe nothing, and they had to rely. Self-reliance was the key. I think we're seeing that again, right?
That's exactly right.
Name of the book is called The Startup of You. We've been talking with Ben Casnocha today. Ben, give out a website. People can get a hold of the book or get a hold of you.
Yeah, check out www.startupofyou.com. Love to hear from you.
Great. Ben, pleasure to talk to you. Look forward to doing it again sometime. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.